What's up, family? Man, I want to have a heart to heart with you guys this morning. Man, we're going to talk about intuition. Intuition. It's a trip because we don't realize how important this is to live a spirit filled life. We don't realize how important this is in order to walk our purpose, fulfill our purpose. You know what I mean? Stay with me. We're going to go somewhere. It's going to get kind of deep, but man, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. There's so much talk in the spiritual realm about being intuitive. Man, you follow your intuition. You know what I mean? That's all being intuitive is man, I follow my intuition. Your intuition is down in your soul, down in your gut region, and it's where we get the phrase trust your gut instinct. Trust your gut instinct. Why? Because that's where God dwells with. That's where God dwells at within us. That's where God communicates with us. That's where we hear the voice of God. Is down in our intuition, is down in our gut region. Man, I've made several videos talking about the three brains within the body. There's the mind brain, the logic brain up here. Most of us, this is where we dwell. This is what leads us. This is what guides the great majority of us. That's our third brain. Our second brain is our heart. Whoever brain in the heart, our heart brain. And the first brain, now, that's down in our gut region. That's our soul. It's our soul brain. And that's where God talks to us in the phrase, in the language of our intuition, on the frequency of that, of God. You know what I mean? Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. And so most of us miss it. Most of us live up here. Most of us like think, okay, man, this is where I hear God at. It's in my mind, in my head. No, that's your fucking ego. And that's why a great majority of us are fucked up. The great majority of us think we hear God in our ego. And we're led astray. And we do things that don't work out. We do things because we think God is talking to us and God has told us to do what to do. God has told us to say da 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 da. God has told us to hook up with da da da. And that was never God. That was our fucking brain. That was our ego brain, our logic brain. And we get fucked up and the shit don't work out right. And we're mad and we're blaming God because we believe that was God talking to us. And the reason why we go through things like that in life is because God is trying to get us to understand, nah, motherfucker, that's your third brain. I dwell down in your soul. I dwell in your soul brain. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. When I talk to you, it's down in your intuition. That's how I talk to you, through intuition. And so you're going to have to learn to trust your gut instinct, not your fucking ego. Trust your instinct. Trust your gut. Trust your intuition. That'll never lead you astray. What leads you astray is your fucking ego. And we convince ourselves, I'm so deep, I'm so smart. I got 2 doctorate degrees, I got a master's degree, and all this other stupid ass shit. That's logic. And most of us, we have these internal battles going on between our instinct and our logic. God will tell us to do something through our instinct, through our intuition. And we're sitting there and we're struggling with what God has told us to do down here. I got this gut feeling. I need to do this. I need to move over here. I need to go apply for a job over here. I need to do this. I got this gut instinct telling me to do what to do. But it doesn't make sense to my ego. It doesn't make sense to my third brain, to my logic brain. And so there's this internal conflict going on. Do I trust my gut instinct or do I go with all my education? Do I trust my gut instinct or do I go with my fucking degrees? Do I trust my instinct or do I go with my street mentality? Nah, this motherfucker ain't gonna play me. This motherfucker got me twisted. This motherfucker think I'm a fucking game. You got me fucked up. And so, nah, we ain't doing that shit. And we completely miss the fact that God has told us to do what to do. God has told us to give this person such and such. God has told us to give this person $50. And it's our last $50. And I ain't doing this shit. That don't make no fucking sense. Why would I give this motherfucker my last? And I ain't got shit else to pay they will do. That's not logical. That's not logical at all. That make me look weak. That make me look like a sucker. How am I gonna get through? How am I gonna make it? Because we're trusting our ego. We're trusting our logic, and that doesn't make sense. Why would I pack up and move out of California? Why would I move somewhere I've never been? Why would I go all the way across town to move to this other area? It's not logical. My family told me not to do it. My mama told me I'm stupid. My daddy told me I was ignorant, and that's not logical. You got to be practical, and you got to have this and that, and you got to do, and you got to make sure all this is in place before you even do this. But that's not what my intuition is saying. My intuition is saying pack up and go. But my logic, my ego, is saying hell nah. That's not. That doesn't make sense. That's not intelligent. That's not what a wise person would do. And so we have this conflict going. And when you learn the Bible or any of the great scriptures, then you learn that the people that God used, and he told them to do some shit, it never made fucking sense. It don't make sense to walk out to the water, to the Jordan River, and tell it to open apart and reach out my staff, my stick over it, and expect the motherfucking water to just stop and stop flowing and divide and dry ground appear so that me and people could walk across. That's not logical. That don't make no sense at all. But my intuition is telling me to do this. And so when you learn the difference between your ego, your logic, your mind, common sense, being practical, being a realist, being a realist, being practical, you'll never be a man of God, a chosen man of God to do great things. Never. Why? Because you're stuck on logic. You're stuck on your fucking wisdom. You're stuck on common sense, being practical. A real chosen one, a real man of God ain't practical. A real man of God, man, he goes by intuition, and that comes with faith. I believe God is guiding me here. It don't make no sense. I don't understand this any way, shape, or form. I ain't got no connections there. I ain't got no hookups there. I ain't got a job there. I ain't got nothing. But my intuition is telling me to go. And so then I go on faith, believing that this is going for me. This is where I'm supposed to be at. And it's going against everything I know to be practical, everything I know to be wise, everything I know that makes sense. I don't know why I gotta go. I don't know why I gotta go to this place at this time, but something is telling me to go. And so I go, not knowing what to expect, not knowing what's gonna happen. And there, I find the love of my life. There, I find my dream job, my dream career. There, I meet my hookup to start my business. There, there. That's why the great majority of us lived unfulfilled lives. That's why the great majority of us live a life of frustration. Why? Because our instinct, our intuition, God has revealed to us to do, but we fought it because it didn't make sense. And so now we got this struggle going on. Because we didn't move when we were told to move. We didn't go where we were told to go. Now we're outside of divine timing, divine planning, outside of divine purpose. Our intuition. Don't hook up with that person. Nah, I know it look good, but logic says that's the one. Logic, man, they got a great job. Man, they got a great body. Man, they're smart. Man, they got this money. Man, they're gonna take care of me. Man, they're saying all the right things. Logic says that's the one for me. But our intuition is saying, oh no, 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 no. Something don't sit right about this one. Something don't feel right about this. Don't do this. Don't hook up with her. Don't hook up with him. I know it look good. I know she smell good. I know she feel good. But that ain't the one. Don't do that. But we do it anyway. Anyways, why? Because she look fucking good. Look at that ass. Look at them titties and man, them lips and man, well, how she work them. Da, da, da. We got all these reasons why that's the one. Because it makes sense. Man, I could walk with her proud in my arms and what do. Oh, man, that's the one for me. Man, when people see pictures of us together on social media, they're gonna be like, dang, he came up. That's a come up. But our intuition is saying, don't do it. But our ego is saying, that's the one, that's the one, that's the one, that's the one right there. That's it. That's it. That's it. And so we do it, trusting our ego, dismissing our intuition. And a couple months into the relationship, all hell break loose. Why? Because God told you not to do this shit in the first fucking place. Now you gonna catch fucking hell. Now you gonna go through some shit. Why? Because you went with your fucking logic over intuition. And so now you gonna have to fucking learn the hard way to trust your intuition and dismiss your fucking logic, dismiss your fucking ego. And so we gotta grow up. And part of growing up is learning how to trust God, learning how to trust our intuition, learning how to trust our gut instinct. See, because you were told to go there and you didn't, not even understanding that there are opportunities there waiting for you. You didn't see it, you didn't know it. It required faith. You didn't have either. You didn't go. You lost out. You lost out. Somebody else got your blessing. Somebody else got your queen. Somebody else got your king. Why? Because you wouldn't obey your fucking intuition. You wouldn't listen to God. Because your ego, your logic, your mind had you convinced that something else was better. You were supposed to do something else. And so you're going to have to suffer through this. You're going to have to grow through this. You're going to cry and be broken down and fucked up. But that's part of your growth and development. You're going to learn to trust your intuition. You're going to learn to stop being ego driven. You're going to learn some faith. You can grow up. I promise you, you will. You get fucked up enough. You lose out enough. You'll get to the point real quick. I'm done. I'm done. I ain't got another one in me. I can't fuck up like that again. Oh no, 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 no. It didn't make sense. It don't make sense to hook up with this person right here. This motherfucker ain't got shit. This motherfucker ain't going nowhere. They ain't got a penny to their fucking name. They ain't got a fucking job. They ain't got shit but hope and a dream. That's all they got. And this motherfucker over here, this motherfucker got a nice ride, got a nice apartment. This motherfucker got college degrees and got a couple $1,000 saved up and went through. Man, it makes sense jumping on this bandwagon right here. And man, this motherfucker ain't got shit, ain't going nowhere. That's what I see. Nope, 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 nope. And so we dismiss this motherfucker over here, not knowing that that's a chosen one for you, not knowing that God is about to blow him up, not knowing that God is about to blow her up. And together, y'all gonna make some shit happen. Together, y'all gonna create a multi-million-dollar business, a corporation, and a bunch of other shit. Well, you can't see that because you see the money over here. You see the man over here. He's fine and man, look at him. All the girls want him. Look at this girl. Damn, look at that ass. Look at them titties. Oh, she got the full package. Man, I can't wait to hook up with her. And so we see the stupid shit. We see the simple shit. We see the logical shit. And we jump on that full throttle. Not knowing had I had a little faith. Not knowing had I trusted my intuition, I would have went with this person over here. I'd have went with option B over here. I would have with their option A. I would have went with option A over here. Regardless of how they looked, regardless of their financial status at the time. Because I know that, man, option A, that was God driven. That was God. That was divine planning. That was divine purpose. But I went over here. I hooked up with this guy. I hooked up with the dope dealer over here. I hooked up with this dude over here, and I didn't understand and know that he was abusive as fuck. He was violent as hell. I didn't know he was going to turn out to be a drug addict. I didn't know she was a fucking hoe. And she was going to take me for everything I had. And so I had to learn the lessons. And they were painful lessons. They broke me down. They humbled me and stopped me from listening to my fucking ego. Stopped me from listening to my fucking logic. And so I learned through obedience to follow my intuition. I learned through my failures and my mistakes. Okay, God, time out, time out. What do you want? Where should I go? Who should I hook up with? What should I say? Do I say anything at all? Because my ego want me to say some shit to this motherfucker. My ego want me to check this motherfucker right here. My ego want me to put this motherfucker in their place. I'm not gonna let these motherfuckers just walk all over because I got healthy boundaries. Let me check this simple-minded motherfucker. But my intuition is saying, nah, don't say shit. Eat this. This is fucking you up because it's challenging your ego. Don't say shit. Don't say shit. That's what your intuition is telling you. But because of your fucking ego, you buck up. Because of your ego, you check this motherfucker. And you go left on their ass. And then a little while later, you realize that you needed that person. That person holds the keys to opening up a door for you. That person could have given you a job or something that you needed. But because you didn't learn to shut the fuck up and follow your intuition, and instead chose to be ego driven, you cussed this motherfucker out, not knowing who the fuck they were. You went left on this motherfucker and checked them, not knowing, not knowing how God was using them, how God was going to use them to bless you. We got to humble ourselves. We got to learn the difference between our intuition and our ego, between our intuition and logic. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. We have to learn in order to be the best version of me, in order to be the greatest version of me. I cannot be ego driven. I can't be led by my ego. I can't be led by what's practical, what's logical. I have to kill that. I have to bring my ego, my mind under control and learn how to be spirit led. What do I mean, spirit led? Be led by my intuition. Be led by your intuition. That's the great conflict within us. That's one of the great conflicts within us. The struggle between logic, our mind, and our spirit, our intuition. Some say your intuition, that's God. Your ego, that's the devil. That's the great conflict. That's the great struggle. That's the great struggle. That's the battle within each and every one of us. Am I God driven? Am I God led? Or ego or mind led? Devil led? Here's the trick. Your ego will never let you dive deep and become spirit led. To trust your intuition. Why? Because your ego don't want to give up control over your life. Your ego want to be the only slave master you have. And so your ego will convince you that it's looking out for you. Your ego will convince you that it's your best friend. It's your greatest confidant. It always have your best interest at heart. That's what your ego has you convinced. Your ego to tell you, man, in order to get connected to God, you got to search for God. God's up in the heavens. God's over here. God's over there. God's everywhere, but inside of you. Your ego will have you going all over the place looking for God, and God's inside of you. But it won't tell you to go down inside of you. It won't tell you to look within you. Because if you really find God, you'll lose your ego will lose control over your life. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. Are you ego driven? 99% of us are. We're ego driven, logic driven, practical, realist. And that's why you live unfulfilled lives. That's why you have no joy, no peace, no happiness. That's why you have no power, no real power. That only comes from being led of the Spirit, led of God, following your intuition, trusting your gut instinct. I hope and pray that I said something to encourage you, to inspire you, or to even challenge your way of thinking. We have to grow up. I love you guys. I thank you for being part of this tribe with me, being part of this journey with me. Namaste. The God in me sees, recognizes, acknowledges, and cherishes the God in each and every one of you. God is within you, whether you believe it or not, whether you know it or not. God is within you. It's down in your gut region where your soul dwells, where your soul brain is. Happy healing.